In today's conversation, we're going to delve into the preliminaries and the specifics as well of property transfer and registration in Kenya. As with all our episodes, my sincere hope is that listeners can pick up some beneficial knowledge from this conversation, especially in understanding how to transact property in Kenya. So today's guest in this substantive conversation is not new to the podcast. Her name is Monica Mwangi, and she is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Monica, karibu sana to today's episode. Tafadhali salimia wasikilizaji.
Thank you very much, David. Monica Mwangi here. It's always a pleasure.
Karibu sana. So Monica, you said something very interesting before we started to record this episode, just as we were prepping, before really digging into it. And you said, and I quote, the very first thing people need to do before anything else is to make sure that whatever property they are considering for purchase is quote unquote buyable. And it got me thinking that perhaps before we delve into the more technical or legal aspects around purchasing, transfer and registration of property, that we could perhaps, maybe in a more basic sense, define that word buyable. What are the basics of property that is buyable? What are the most fundamental aspects, the intrinsic qualities that would describe a property that is buyable, so that, we could even say, or, go as far as to say those properties that would make the list of properties that are not perhaps buyable or should not be buyable properties. Let's start from there. What is buyable?
Okay, so I looked, I think, for the simplest term you can use, buyable. Basically, it's in the definition, can I buy this property? It translates to, can I buy this property? You need to do that research before you put your money into it. So I think the first thing should be maybe to tell people that about the tenures we have of property in Kenya, and majorly there are two. There's freehold and there's leasehold. So freehold.
This is for private land.
Yes. Okay, I think now David has taken us back. We have so much property in Kenya, but there is some property that is called community land, or if you like, state-owned. So you see there's property. You could have a plot in your area that is, it's open, and you don't know who the owners are, or someone purports to sell that property, but you end up finding out it's a property set aside maybe for community use. It's supposed to have either a hospital or exactly. Yeah. So you need to ensure that number one, the property is private owned, owned by a person or a company, but it's not community owned or state owned. Yes, or for forestry, like.
Don't try to buy a forest.
Exactly.
Don't try to buy a national park.
Yes, do not do that. Do not do that.
Don't try to construct a permanent structure over a river.
Yes. Unless
don't take over a road reserve.
Yes.
Or any other kind of public reserve. Yes.
Exactly. So I don't want to say, come on, but, just don't do that.
It should be a foregone it should actually be a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous. But we've seen buildings being torn down.
Yes.
Built on riparian reserves.
Yes.
We've had a politician actually once say that we should divert the river because we should protect an investment. But yes, those should be foregone conclusions naturally.
Yeah.